After each new heroes banner, usually one of the new heroes that got added as a 5-star unit gets demoted and added to the 4-star pool as well as the 5-star pool. And as the year comes to a close, I think it's a good idea to review all the demoted units released this year and how you can build them either as 5-star PD breaks or 4-star merge projects. The focus of this video is to suggest some builds and what to do with the demoted units you might have gotten at 5-star, or if you got them at 4-star and don't know whether it's worth to invest in these heroes and upgrade them to 5-star. And I'll share some builds I've seen in Arena and Ether raids, and overall how I think these units should be invested in. And just a quick clarify, I will not talk about GHB and Tempest Trials units, that will be for a separate video, and I will not talk about the 3 to 4 star new hero additions, such as Bantu, Tanya, Chad or Ross, because those were not demoted, they were added as 3 to 4 star heroes. I still don't think there are enough 3 to 4 star heroes for me to talk about, so I'll talk them in a separate video way later. But well, this video doesn't have that much visual aspects like I usually do, such as skill descriptions, detailed functions or something else. So if you're seeing this video purely for the visual part, for the description I write in the video, there will not be that much of it, so please come back once you can listen to me. And now, without further ado, for the year-in review. Starting off in January, we got the biggest addition to Fire Emblem heroes since Colored Bows and Daggers, which were the new Beast weapon type. They were first added via the Rulers of Laguz banner, with Noila, Tibarn, Leon, and Reyson. Even though it was a game-changing banner, we got one hero demoted, Reyson. Reyson is a flying green beast, and as all other green beasts, he gets not all green beasts, he gets an special effect once adjacent to only dragon or beast allies, or if there are no adjacent allies, which is to transform, in case Reyson transforms into a heron, and he gets +2 attack, as well as +1 movement. So he gets normal flying movement, and once he transforms he gets +1 movement. So he gets cavalry movement without their limitations. So he has the ability to traverse rivers, forests and trenches without being slowed down or stopped at all. But before talking about his skills, he also comes with great stats, especially for a Flier dancer, which is so far the lowest BST class, only losing to cavalry dancers, which, well, still don't exist, but when they do, they'll have the lowest BST class. His main attraction is his speed, which usually would be great for not taking follow-up attacks, because if foe's speed is higher than your speed by 5 points, foe makes a follow-up. So his speed normally is enough not to take follow-ups, but with his PRF and with high merges, he can get up to 41 speed without any other skills nor merges, not anything else, making speed-oriented skills or even blessings / fortress level 4 ether rates, and then he'll be the one doubling, reaching insane speed stats. Aside from that, he gets a low attack that really isn't a problem since his focus is support. His defenses aren't all that great as well, with 24 defense and 26 resistance and 5-star with no merges. Just getting shy of 30 even at +10, which should be enough to take a few hits, but not enough to even survive against strong red mages and bow units. And about his skills, he has Heron Wing, a PRF that can't be switched around for anything else, since there are no inheritable beast weapons, so he only gets his PRF Heron Wing. But that really isn't a problem, because not only it grants more speed and extra movement, but it still gets another effect on top of it, which is to recover 7 HP to all units within 2 spaces of Reyson at the start of turn, which is essentially a better version of Breath of Life that does not require Reyson to engage in combat while still healing his allies. About his special, since neither Draconic Aura nor Bonfire can really help him deal damage, Moonbow will do the job, especially for being fast to activate, and it helps him deal more damage regardless of his attack. And about his A skill, Steady Posture is a nice skill that improves his survivability, but at the cost of having to take damage before counter-attacking. So another skill that requires you to initiate, such as Swift Sparrow, which helps with his speed and even a bit with his attack, will allow him to kill some blue mages when initiating. Other skills such as Fury, which improves all of his stats, or even Triangle Adapt, which gives him way more chance against blue units, which both work on enemy and player phase, are also really great for Reyson. His big skill, Wings of Mercy, is one of the best skills that allow him to truly target all of the map, because if you weren't happy with your 3 movement, you get more movement with Wings of Mercy, especially for GHB or Legendary Hero Battle clears. But if you think the 3 movement he gets when transformed is enough, a support skill like Chill Attack or any chill skill really is also a great one to use. For his support skill, his C skill, it's really up to the player, because considering if your team has more flyers, you could use Gold Flyers or Hone Flyers, or even 45 Beasts for Beast allies, which is also another great part of Reyson, because he is both Beast and a Flyer, which enables him to give support to any one of the 2 classes. A skill like Guidance would also work at the cost of being really expensive to get, being limited to only 5-star units, but fully utilizing his movement to give his allies the same movement abilities. For his seal, a great suggestion would also be Eye of the Shield, considering Reyson is a Flyer and really suffers against bows. And overall, he's the demoted unit I've seen the most in competitive modes, with various builds that manage to wreck my team in different ways. His support is some of the best your units can get, making a great cheap unit to invest on. Even if he's not a threat, he is able to dance his allies and make them the threat. After that, in February, we got the Kitsune and Wolfskin banner, which was also a Beast banner, but unfortunately there was no hero demoted this time. Make us wait until March to get a new one in the Beyond Darkness banner, where the Binding Blade got some representation and left us another demoted hero, Thea. Thea is a flying lance unit with a very messy stat line, with every stat in the 30s, with 37 HP, 31 attack, 35 speed, 31 defense, and only res at 28. And that grants her great flexibility on her builds, but at the cost of not getting any great stats. Her focus and danger come from her skills, which are usually centered on her defense, with Vanguard as a steady stance weapon, which suggests a defensive playstyle, especially with her low attack. But if you give her Wagasa Plus and Chill skills as her Seal and B skill, you give her Wagasa and two Chill skills, she could be an amazing support unit, as well as, for example, using Swift Sparrow and Desperation with Lofty Blossoms, with a cheaper alternative being Fire Sweep Lance for a more offensive build, or even focusing on her base kit and using Steady Stand 3 and Defense Refine for even more defense and powerful bonfire procs. Thea doesn't really shine as a flyer nor a lance unit, so she's not seen as much as other year 1 lance flyers, who were already at plus 10 when Thea launched. She can also get very defensive builds that make her a nominee tank, but there are so many better options than her that require way less investment, so Thea just comes off being fodder for Vanguard Plus. But skipping to April, we got another Beast banner out of Gallia, but this time we got a demoted hero, Mordecai. And Mordecai is an infantry blue beast with one of the highest defenses in the game, coming at 39 at 5 star, with the potential to go even further beyond, especially when his weapon grants him plus 3 defense. His speed and resistance are really low at 24 and 20 respectively, but he compensates for it with high attack and really high HP at 47. The great part about Mordecai is that he does not require that much investment to make him great, especially with Sabertooth Fang, a weapon that does not only grant attack plus 2 when transformed, but also deals plus 10 damage when his special triggers, which can combo with Bonfire and his defense to make his proc a guaranteed kill. But where he shines is his combo with Smite, Attack Defense Link, and Sabertooth Fang, where if he uses / gets used by support skills that inflict movement like Drawback, Shove, Swap, or Smite even, he inflicts -4 to all stats of all foes within 2 spaces of Mordecai or his ally, which covers a huge area for the debuffs and grants himself and his ally attack defense +6 if using attack defense link, which makes Mordecai even bulkier and stronger, while also helping his allies and debuffing foes, which makes him an amazing support unit, while also working as an offensive unit, only relying heavily on quick riposte for follow-ups. His A skill, it's best to place really anything that grants him more defense or more attack, such as steady stance or attack defense bond, which really help him, while investing on his speed and resistance is not really that worth it. And the synergy between his skills is so great that the only possibility to improve his B skill is by changing the stats gained. For example, changing attack defense link for def res link or attack speed link, where they benefit more his ally than Mordecai himself. Skills like infantry pulse or panic ploy that require high HP to work also work wonders with him and his highest base speed. Overall, he's one of my favorite demoted units, and I've got him at +9 currently, waiting for his last merge, and I really couldn't recommend him enough. Aside from that, we also got the Darkness Within banner, Fallen Heroes banner that, just like the last time, did not have a demote, making us wait until June to get the next one, from a Future Past banner, with Brady as a demote. Brady is an infantry staff unit with the same stat spread problem as Thea, with convoluted stats that give him the same problem as she did, but with lower stats. Coming at 41 HP, 33 attack, 32 speed, 23 defense and 28 resistance. And really a greater problem than all of that, having a staff. That renders him unable to use great skills like Death Blow, Mirror Impact, or stance skills, which would really help him. The most noteworthy thing to take from him are his skills, which were Infantry Rush, also a very limited skill, and Attack Rest Push, a brand new and very limited skill class, and made them both available at 4-star. Sorry, Infantry Rush is only available at 5-star, but you can get the unit at 4-star, which make him essentially designed for fodder, especially when considering the investment you need to make Brady good, requiring expensive skills like attack speed solo, Wrathful / Dazzling Staff, and a new staff, considering slow plus is not really helping him. And overall, Brady really isn't that great, and was essentially a way to make these skills available at lower rarities, at the cost of having a bad unit come with it, especially when compared to Silk, a unit very similar to Brady, that came out later this year, but with a way better stat line. At the cost of being exclusive to 5-star, but still, there are better infantry staff units. After that, Fire Emblem 3 Houses released, and the banner we had for that game, in Fire Emblem Heroes, was only featured the 3 house leaders and female Byleth, with no demotes coming out. So we had to wait until August for the second 3 houses banner to come out, with Mercedes as the demote. And Mercedes is essentially Brady, but she completely dumps her speed and defense to prove her resistance a little bit, which makes her easier to turn into a ploy user, while also having such low stats she can't come close to combat. I mean, 20 speed isn't even nearly enough to face combat, so it's best to keep her really far away from combat. But about her skills, Gravity is a skill that might keep some foes away from her, but it could also be changed for generic staffs such as Pain Plus with Savage Blow for guaranteed damage, especially with 33 attack, which, I mean, she will rely heavily on that Pain Plus effect. Yes, 33 attack isn't that bad, but she won't be able to one-hit kill some units, especially considering she won't make follow-up attacks. Miracle is also a great special that, while at high cooldown charge, renders Mercedes able to survive in combat, while other support skills like Windfire Bomb or Healing Light making up more support. As for her A skill, it's essentially useless outside of Ether Raids, and she wasn't made for that place, so ARD Speed Res is best replaced for skills that grant her more resistance, such as Attack Res Solo or Fortress Defense Res as the more expensive options, while Fortress Res only might as well be a good choice. If Mercedes uses Miracle or other skills that make her survive combat while taking a little bit of damage, Escape Route should also be a great option for getting away from foes and making her support easier to reach her allies. Overall, Mercedes is just Brady with a little bit of res focus, with both of them being mediocre units that were probably just some excuses to dump some skills onto the 4-star pool. After that, we got the Brave Heroes banner, which never has and never should have Demoted Heroes, so we skip until October, when we got the Chosen Heroes the Chosen Ones banner, with Norne being the Demoted unit. Hailing from Mystery of the Emblem, Norne is a colorless bow infantry unit that, unlike Brady and Thea, has a good mixed stat spread, with high bases for every stat, making her flexible and good. It's probably because of her high infantry BST, but she is, in my opinion, one of the best Demoted heroes added this year. Her skills are centered on a defensive playstyle, with Guard Bow Plus and Present Speed Defense and Speed Defense Link, granting her high defense for focus, and also speed to come along with that. But since she has already 32 attack, something more focused on her attack would be nice as well, since she has only 32 attack. On the Norne I built, I gave up on her defenses in exchange for a fast Norne that relies on special procs from Luna or Moonbow. So I gave her Bouquet Bow from Bridal Louise and Swift Sparrow to grant her +8 attack speed on initiation, as well as a Speed Refine for easier Flashing Blade proc. I gave her Flashing Blade 4 for even more damage, but only Flashing Blade 3 is already a great option, making for quick and damaging specials. As for a defensive Norne, a skill like Fortress Defense Res or Bracing Stance would also greatly enhance her defenses overall, while decent defense combos with her bow, at the cost of only triggering against ranged units. For her B skill, she can also have the support focus she has on her base kit, or even go for Desperation for more offenses, or even go further beyond for low speed defense, for guaranteed debuffs on foe and guaranteed double. Her C skill could also be something that improves her speed and attack, such as Joint Hone Attack or Joint Hone Speed. Or even something that improves her defenses, such as Attack Smoke. Really, it depends on your build. On the same month, we got Zophia's Call banner, with new powerful units and a Demoted. Python. Python Apathetic Archer should be just called Python Pathetic Archer, because Python is one of the worst Demoted heroes, with mediocre skills that would be great for the first years of the game, but now with the new tier 4 skills and LOL skills, his Steady Blow and Blue Tome Breaker skills are essentially useless as fodder. Something great that came from him is Short Bow Plus, which deals +10 damage when special procs, making even Moonbow procs great. His stats are also not that great at 38 HP, 32 attack, 35 speed, 31 defense, and 20 resistance. And considering his defenses, a build around those won't work as nicely as one around his offenses. So something similar to Norne's build, with Bouquet Bow, Swift Sparrow, and Desperation are nice, or even give him Life and Death. That's also an option for Norne, with the only problem being the cavalry units that can't use Flashing Blade, and Python's attack isn't really high to run Heavy Blade. Another problem Python has is being a green bow, which makes him weaker against red units, rendering him less damage against red units, which are the most common unit type. Aside from Python, on November, we got the Desert Mercenaries banner, and with it came out the second Demoted dancer this year, Tethys. Tethys is a dagger infantry dancer that does what a dancer should: have high speed to not receive follow-ups, the same as Reyson. At 35 speed and with speed res bond on her base kit, with just some merges or a refine, she'll reach a speed high enough not to get doubled. Aside from that, her attack is irredeemably low at 27, just like her defense at 23. Her resistance is also great at 34 base, so giving her odd res wave or other skills that also grant her more resistance to combat mages is also nice. Aside from that, she comes with the Cleaner Plus, a dagger that increases damage dealt by bonuses on foe, so it requires you to have more, requires your foe to have a lot of buffs in order for you to deal more damage. If you're looking for something more consistent that doesn't rely on your foe, a dagger such as Barbed Shuriken is also great, because it reduces your cooldown and makes special skills like Iceberg even quicker to proc. Since Tethys has high res, a skill like Distant Defense would also work, while Fury is also nice to improve on her at speed and attack as well. As an infantry dancer, using Wings of Mercy is great for getting more movement to reach your allies. And overall, Tethys is a great unit to +10, a great dancer to +10, but she still loses to Reyson due to his ability to transform and cover all of the map with his high movement. And for our last guaranteed demote, we have Echidna, released through the Guardians of Peace banner this November. Echidna is an ex-infantry unit that is really similar to Thea, with a PRF that works just like Thea's Vanguard Plus, and a mixed stat spread. But the infantry boost makes her great overall, just like Norne. She also gets great HP at 45 with no merges, as well as 30 defense and 27 resistance, making it viable to invest on her defenses, while her offenses of 34 attack and 36 speed also makes her offenses being worth invested on. She comes with Rear Guard Plus, and that's probably the best weapon really she can get right now, considering her other options weren't released as X, such as Barrier X Plus or Swift Sparrow X. And the other good X she can get is Fire Sweep X, but that will be too expensive for Echidna at low merges. And some, I don't know, Faithful X or other weapons that are seasonal exclusive are also not great for Echidna at low merges. If you're going to invest on her, make sure you're going to get her at 2+10. Since her X grants her more defense, a combo with skills like Steady Stance is also great for more defense, while Swift Sparrow and Desperation makes her more offensive. Wrath is also a great option for her B skill that combos with her healing special to deal damage when healing. But you can also completely replace it for something more focused on her defense, such as Bonfire. Oh, I forgot something. You could also give her Wogun, the X that trigger when special triggers deals 10 damage regardless of special. So yeah, that's also another option to go with Soul. Or you just dump Soul and give her Bonfire. Overall, she's a really flexible unit, another really flexible unit that can be changed around to best suit the situation. And as she's available at 4-star now, it's relatively easier to get it. Oh yeah, and considering everyone should be pulling right now for Winter Solstice is green, and man, it's just really easy to get Echidna. The last unit is kind of a prediction, since we don't know if she's going to be demoted until December 25th, a week from the time of recording. Anyway, I'll review her as if she was a demote. Well, through the newest Book 4 Begins banner, we got some Thracia units and Eyvel. Eyvel is a sword infantry unit that released along with Book 4 earlier this month, and she has some amazing stats along with her. Starting from her strongest stat, 38 defense, which makes her defensive builds super easy and not expensive to do, especially with 35 speed, which should require some investment to make her double, but the main problem is her attack of 33, which isn't that great for damage, which makes her rely heavily on specials to kill. And well, about her resistance, it's just what sword infantry units need. 25 resistance, really low resistance. For her skills, she comes with Guard Sword, a weapon that works just like Guard without the HP threshold. It's an amazing skill for fodder and for personal use, but you would rather have Safeguard to improve her defense, or even Cake Cutter to improve her attack and speed. If she's going for a defensive build, she can keep attack defense form, but a more consistent option that doesn't require your allies to be next to you is Steady Stance or Steady Breath. Steady Breath is for quicker procs, but it's also way more expensive, only being available at Brave Eye. Speaking of it, how can it be 3 years since the game launched and we still didn't get another hero that got Steady Breath? We also didn't get anyone with Warding Breath, we also didn't get anyone else with Fierce Breath. I mean, they need to give us new units with breath skills. But well, if you're not going for defense, Swift Sparrow should also give her the speed edge she needs. If her speed is dumped, she could also use Quick Riposte, but with a little bit of investment at high merges, Desperation could also work with a Speed Refine. Well, and that's basically it for our demoted units this year. I think it's best for me to rank these units on how much I've seen them in PvP modes and overall on how much I like them. In terms of preference, I like Norne the most, Mordecai as second, Eyvel as third, but Eyvel we still don't know if she is truly a demote, Echidna fourth, fifth Tethys, sixth Reyson, seventh Thea, eighth Brady, ninth Mercedes, and at last Python. And as for PvP presence, I've seen Reyson. I see a Reyson about every 3 Ether Raids maps. And for second place, Mordecai. I've seen him in some arena teams. Norne, I've seen her a bit. And Echidna, I've seen her today when I was doing an arena assault run. And the rest of them, the other 6 heroes, I've never seen on PvP modes. And if you want a fun bit of data, I just said a total of 3,333 words. So it's 3333 words. And that's it. Thanks for your attention. If you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment with your own opinion on these units and the builds you recommend for them. If you have built one of those, if you want to recommend me a build, if you want to say I'm wrong and that Python is actually good, please leave that in the comments. And I'll see you next time. May you get good pulls and may you only get the 4-star units you wish to possess.